Hi guys, welcome to Xbox On. Now, I've made some lovely memories playing Xbox.
Yeah, and I've had some really painful ones, so we thought we'd take a look at some painful memories that every Xbox fan will know. Now, I have to kick off this list with what I think has got to be one of the most painful gaming memories that I have, especially being a younger brother, and I'm sure you'll have most likely gone through it all as well, or seen a few pictures online. Now, even though I also absolutely loved it, balancing a piece of cardboard on my head so I could have a fair 1v1 with my brother on Halo 1 on the original Xbox has got to be one of the most painful moments that Xbox owners will understand. Now obviously, this was a time before Xbox Live even existed, but the Halo multiplayer was one of my favourite early gaming memories. I used to take my Xbox round to my friend's house so we could have some 4v4 LAN party matches. However, when I was just at home, the only person I had to play against was my brother, and one of us just couldn't help but look at the other person's part of the screen. So to have a fair 1v1 and see who was the better Halo player, I had to balance a piece of cardboard on my head, so it was no longer possible. And yeah, if you're wondering who the person was at Screen Watch, it was me. So I suppose it was karma that I got the short end of the stick and had to put the cardboard on my head.
The whole Xbox On team debated for several hours about our most painful Gears of War memories. There are several votes for that old classic, messing up an active reload at a key moment. You know what I'm talking about. You're on a roll, taking on Locust with ease, only for a clumsy slip of the bumper button to make your gun jam and let the enemy turn your head into jam. This was bad enough in single player, but in multiplayer it meant instant death. There was also a lot of support for including the chainsaw executions. Great fun when you do them to someone else, truly embarrassing when it happens to you. Is there any death that's more humiliating than having someone slowly push a chainsaw through your body? Having Gears of War 4's drop shot drill through your skull is definitely near the top of the list, but it's the classic that sticks with us. But the moment that finally made the cut was the first classic encounter with the Berserker in Gears 1. Yes, by now we all know how to defeat this lumbering brute, but at the time it was unlike anything we'd seen. The first few hours of the game teach you that nothing can't be solved with a bullet, only for you to be locked in a very tight space with something that can't be killed with bullets. At the time it scared the hell out of us, and we must have died tens of times trying to lead it out into the courtyard where we could melt it with lasers. Over time we've learned how to deal with these bad boys with ease, but back then we spent more time as a pile of bloody body parts than we like to remember.
Now, if you're someone who loves to 100% complete every game that you play by unlocking all the achievements, finding everything there is to find, and unlock everything that you can possibly unlock, then this will be one of the most painful gaming moments that you could possibly go through. In Forza Horizon 3, there are a total of 488 different roads for you to drive down, and if you drive on every single one of them, you'll be awarded with 20 gamer score. Not that much for how painful this can actually be to unlock, especially when you found 487 of them with no clue whatsoever where the road that you've missed could possibly be, so you just end up driving around for hours and hours in the hope that you'll come across this elusive road, which makes you lose sleep at night. The big problem is, a lot of people will say, oh, just go and use a guide to unlock an achievement like this. Well, after going through a guide step by step, I somehow still managed to miss one, so have to do it all over again in hopes that I don't make the same mistake again. So if you've gone through something like this, make sure to let us know in the comments below if you've shared my pain, because it's absolutely heartbreaking.
Back when achievements were shiny and new, we all did some pretty weird things to try and boost our scores. Whenever someone found a game with easy or quick achievements, you'd see the entire Xbox community swarm on it like a plague of Chivo-loving locusts. Going over my achievement collection, I find all kinds of things unlocked in desperation. There was that time that Doritos kept making free Xbox Live Arcade games that we'd all download because they'd give us 200 free achievements. We've all got Doritos Crash Course unlocks hiding in our profiles, and we only had to force our little digital lookalikes to get crushed under giant hammers to unlock them. But the king of cheeky achievement farming has to be Avatar: The Burning Earth. This game famously gave you 1000 achievement points for working up a 50-hit combo, something you could do in the opening tutorial. You just stand in the corner and hammer attack and watch those 1000 points roll in. I knew some people who were so hungry for the easy gamer score that they clubbed together to buy the game as a huge gang, and I used to see copies exchanging hands in the workplace. It felt naughty, like you were somehow gaming the system. For a long time, Avatar was the only game I had the full 1000 points for, and it's something I had to live with. I imagine a fair few of you live with it too. If you've got any other sneaky achievements you want to admit to, add them in the comments below. Ori and the Blind Forest is one of my all-time favourite Xbox games, but anyone who has played it knows it can be quite cruel. I was tempted to use this list to talk about the game's escape sequences, some of the hardest platforming I've ever seen, but I thought of a much more common mistake, and that's forgetting to create save points. Ori has a pretty unique save system in that you can place a checkpoint wherever you want. As long as you have enough power, you can drop a spawn point. In theory, you could drop one every 10 meters, making sure you never had to travel far when you died. On paper, it should make the game an absolute pushover. But what paper doesn't take into account are idiots like me who forget to drop the checkpoints. Maybe it's because you got into the groove with a particular bit of platforming, or maybe it's because you're just too darn cocky. But it's so easy to forget to pause and pop out a safety net. So the next time you land on those spikes, or walk under a crusher, or take a blue fireball to the face, you're all the way back to whenever you last remembered to save. Combine Ori's weak body with our forgetfulness and this makes for an incredibly painful memory. Let us know in the comments below if you made the same mistake. Forza's Drivatars are a work of cruel genius. Introduced in Forza 5, your Drivatar is a virtual version of you, created by the game watching your racing style and behaviour. This digital driver is then shared with your friends and will appear instead of the normal AI drivers in races. It's an amazing piece of technology, but it also means there is no escaping from friends who are really good at the game. Imagine the humiliation of losing against a friend in multiplayer, only now it can happen when they aren't playing online. I cannot explain the rage I felt as Benny's Drivatar would constantly cut me up and push past me on the final straight in just about every Forza Horizon 3 race I did. Benny is quite annoying to work with in person, and yet here he is just being annoying without even needing to hold a pad. If you've ever had a victory stolen from you by the virtual ghost of a friend, perhaps soon to be ex-friend, you will surely agree with me that there are few memories more painful than this. On the plus side, maybe your Drivatar is making life hell for someone else.
Now, I first bought Crackdown for the pure reason of getting access to the Halo 3 multiplayer beta, which was absolutely incredible, and I don't think I got off it for a single moment while it was live. But I actually really got into Crackdown. Being a super agent, jumping from roof to roof, picking up cars and throwing them was a lot of fun. But one thing that wasn't fun, and for me was actually rather painful, was getting to the top of the agency tower for that achievement. Now, the first time I saw the agency tower, I obviously tried to climb it, but found out that my agility level was too low, so had to spend ages going around collecting agility orbs. But once I had finally managed to get a high enough agility level, I started making the long climb to the top, and then did the one thing that no one wants to do in a situation like this, and let's be honest, we've all done it, is completely miss the final jump to get the achievement and go falling to my death. Not only meaning I didn't get the achievement, but it also meant that I had to go and climb the whole thing all over again. I remember doing this countless times in games like Tomb Raider, but it'll never get easier, especially when you were so close to finally finishing it.
I don't know about you, but for me, video games are an escape from everyday life. These are worlds where you don't have to worry about washing up or mowing the lawn, and you can just focus on shooting bandits with lightning and fun things like that. Well, Fable 2 didn't get the memo. If you want to make money in Albion, you're gonna have to get yourself a Saturday job. This is a painful memory in itself, but nothing compared to the multiplayer system. The game adds a gold multiplier to your earnings for completing your task without errors. Chop 10 pieces of wood in a row and you'd get twice as much gold. Chop 20 pieces in a row and you'd get 3 times as much. So imagine how angry you get after spending 5 minutes building up a huge multiplier only for a tiny slip up to send you back to 0. And there were so many distractions, such as listening to the weird things people said in the background.
Did you hear what happened down the street? A chicken ate a boy, or so they say.
To the distracting way that your dog would watch you raise and lower the axe. Once you see that animation, you can't unsee it. Even worse, when you do finally hit your stride, you don't want to stop as you don't want to go through the whole process again. You become stuck in a wood chopping limbo. What's that? A dark evil is stirring across the land? Sorry, no can do. I'm currently getting minted from wood abuse. The one tiny bit of light at the end of the tunnel was once you made enough money, you could buy the house that owned the woodshed and evict everyone who lived there. Yeah, that's right, you stinking kids. Who needs to chop wood now? Oh, it's still me.
Now, personally, one of the most painful gaming moments that I've ever had in my Xbox history is failing the Maw on Legendary in Halo 1 by a fraction of a second. You've gone through one of the most epic endings to a game, you've made huge jumps, you've crushed hundreds of Flood with your Warthog, you've dodged a ridiculous amount of grenades, and even seen a Pelican crash. But nothing can prepare you for when you've managed to go through all of that, and then during the final sprint to your escape ship, you've got one eye watching the clock ticking down knowing it's close, but you think you're going to make it and finally finish Halo 1 on the hardest difficulty. You've gone past all the Flood, about to touch the ramp, and then no. You failed. The timer has run out, and even though you were less than a centimeter away, you failed. You may have just got blown up by one of those grenades a while back, alright, it wouldn't have been as painful. But that is without a doubt one of the most painful experiences that I've ever had in my gaming history, and it's especially worse when you do it in co-op, though at least you can just blame your mate's bad driving for failing to complete it by less than a second. Where's Lewis Hamilton when you need him?
So there we have it, 10 painful gaming memories that every Xbox fan will have experienced, and sadly, me and Lydia had to experience them all to actually make this video, so feel sorry for us, but do let us know what your favorite is in the comments below, and if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos.
And make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and check out last week's list show whilst you're at it. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.